All right, let's solve some equations with cube roots for 8th grade. This is a little bit more simple than the ones we did for Algebra 1, but you can look back at the Algebra 1 and the geometry to find more examples such as this. My job is to isolate this x, and I need to get rid of this cube. Well, the opposite operation of a cube is a cube root. So if I cube root both sides, take the cube root of both sides, the cube cancels the cube root out, x is freed up, and then I have the cube root of 216. Well, the cube root of 216 is 6. Of course, a calculator could get that for you, but I highly suggest making you a little sheet like this and then just keeping it over to the side. It just speeds things up for you. All right. Now on this one, I also want to get this n alone, but the first thing I'm going to have to do is get rid of the negative 1/4. If I multiply by a negative and a 4, if I multiply both sides by a negative 4, which is the denominator, then I'm going to get rid of that denominator and that fraction. So I'm going to multiply by negative 4 here and over here. So you can put a 1 under this if you need to, but the 4's cancel. The negative times a negative is a positive, and n cubed is now alone. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and then we can get rid of the cube. All right, so the cube root of both sides. And remember, it is okay to have a negative under a radical as long as the index is odd. So n is now free, and the cube root of negative 8 is going to be a negative 2, because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. All right, on this one, we're going to get rid of the 8 before we get rid of that negative 5. So I will subtract 8 from both sides. All right, so I have negative 1/5 m cubed equals 33 minus 8, which would be 25, positive 25. And now, just like in this last problem here, if I multiply, to get this m alone, I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 5 here and here. And I have the negative 5 canceling this 5 canceling this 5 out. Negative times negative is a positive. So I have m cubed equals 25 times negative 5, which is a negative 125. To get the cube away from the m, the opposite operation would be the cube root. So I'm going to take the cube root of both sides. Whatever you do to the left side of the equation, you have to do to the right side, and vice versa. So m is now freed from the radical, and the cube root of negative 125 is going to be 5. And remember, it will be negative.